What's up out there? It is nearly October, and that means time for Halloween horror movie season. Now, I am on a website called Letterboxd, which has a user named Cinemonster that generates a list called Hooptober. I know there's a lot of weird words in there, but I follow this sort of a curated list. It's like a choose your own adventure. They give you criteria to meet. You find the movies that meet that criteria. I like this format. I've seen other formats where they'll give you I saw another one recently where they would give you for each day of the month, they would give you a list of movies and you just pick one from that day's list. I thought that was kind of cool. There's been other versions of it where different criteria or whatever, or you select like a theme and that's what you're going to watch the whole month is clown movies or Christmas movies or just whatever theme you can come up with. I like this format because it gives you you got a little homework. You got to go find something. And I always like finding new movies. I try to watch new movies and not stuff that I've already watched before. Sometimes I have to rewatch things. It is what it is. But I have the criteria. I have my list set up. So we are going to run through this real fast and I will show you everything that I'm going to watch. So the quick and easy rules, there must be 31 horror movies. There are 6 countries other than the Italy. They want 6 countries other than Italy or the US, 9 different decades, 5 zombie movies, 3 cult or conspiracy horror films, 1 film from a black director with a black lead, 1 film from a Mexican or Central American director, 1 Canadian film, 1 Russia or former Russian state film, the most popular film from the 40s that you haven't seen and can access, 2 post-apocalyptic horror films, 1 film with dreams or a dream is part of the plot, 1 animals are pissed at us film, 1 silent film, 4 based on novels, any film from a specific list that we were given, 1 Ernesto Gastaldi written film. I have no idea who that writer is. I've seen a few of his movies, but I just didn't know who he was as a writer. And then 1 film from 1932. And finally, for whatever reason, they wanted us to watch The Wizard of Oz from 1939. And then there's always a Tobe Hooper movie. And if you want any extra credit, there's Burn Witch Burn, German Chainsaw Massacre, and Trick or Treat. Now, I've watched Trick or Treat before, so I don't know that I'll watch that. I think I can rent Burn Witch Burn somewhere, but German Chainsaw Massacre is like out on Amazon or some service that I do not have. So here's my list, where I usually do my list from oldest to newest. I find that is the most even experience. If you're watching like some movie from 2025 and then you go back and watch some old silent film from black and white silent film from the 1910s or something like that, that's a pretty uneven and rough experience. If you go from oldest to newest, it's a lot better and it just keeps things moving along. You kind of just get into a flow of things, if you will. So I start with the oldest stuff first, and the one that I'm starting with is White Zombie from 1932. This is both from 1932 as well as a zombie movie. Well, it's in the title. I hope it's a zombie movie. One of the problems that I run into 2 big problems. Number 1 is I'll pick a movie and it may or may not match the theme that I picked it for. And you don't find, if you go in blind, you don't know until you actually watch the movie and you're like, oh yeah, this didn't necessarily meet the criteria, but I had already picked it, a month or 2 earlier. And the other problem that I run into is some of these just they're not available on a streaming service when I go to watch it. And I think I can rent this one. It is available on Tubi at the moment. So hopefully it stays available, but I think I can still rent it. So we're starting off with White Zombie from 1932. Moving on to The Wizard of Oz, it's required watching for this one. I already actually own this. I bought it recently. It came up for sale and I wanted to watch it anyway. There's the Return to Oz or something like that. They said that's more of a darker kind of movie. So I've been wanting to watch The Return to Oz, but I wanted to revisit it. So this is a perfect time. I'll watch this one and then I'll watch The Return here in November or something once the marathon's over. That is the only non-horror movie on the list. And then we've got Leopard Man from 1943. This needed to be the most popular from the 40s that I have access to. There was a different movie. I thought it was this one. There was a different movie from the 40s that I had in here, but I actually own this one. I bought this not too long ago because of the director or the photographer or something. I can't remember. There's a reason why I owned this one, and it was one that I wanted to put on a list at some point. So I had something else here, and then I looked at what I owned, and I'm like, well, I could just swap this out. So There was a different movie that was slightly more popular, but because I owned this one, I put The Leopard Man in. This is again, it's an older movie. I knew I would need it for a list and I saw it come up cheap, so I bought it. The next one is Curse of Frankenstein from 1957. We needed a based on a novel one, and this is from the UK, so I get the country, get an extra decade. I already own this one, and it's based on a novel. So this one is another one that I bought because it sometimes we can need certain things for criteria, and this one, whether it's the director or somebody in the cast or something like that, this one was going to fit a list, and I got it for cheap, so it made its way onto the list. I think I've had this one for a while. Same thing with the next one, The Whip and the Body. This is the Ernesto Gastaldi one, and this one also covers France. It's a French-Italian film from 1963. I own it. It was one that I either bought or came with a package of other stuff, so I already had it, and I was like, well, that's an easy one to fit in. As soon as I saw this guy had written it, I was like, well, I already have it, so that one was easy. Next up is Messiah of Evil from 1974. This is a zombie film. It's supposed to be on Tubi. I think I can rent this one if it's not when we get there. Next up is Eraserhead from 1977. Now, this is one I'm kind of going on faith. This is one I bought, and it's a David Lynch film. I hear good things about it. I don't know. I'm not down with all the David Lynch stuff, but I am interested in trying this. It was $5 when I bought it, so it's pretty cheap. But I needed a film with dreams or dream as part of the plot, and I think this one covers it. I looked up a list of movies with dream sequences and stuff like that. Some of them I've already seen, and some I hadn't, but this one was here. It's been on my list of stuff to watch forever, and like I said, I just picked it up not too long ago on sale, so it was ready to go for this list. Next up is Grapes of Death. This is from 1978. Hopefully it stays available on Tubi, and this is another zombie film. It's like pesticides are turning people into zombies or something. I don't know. It sounds kind of interesting at least. And I've seen this one out there before. The cover, like I guess it's a play on the Grapes of Wrath or whatever, which I've never seen that movie or read the book, but this looked kind of interesting, so I'm kind of curious to see how that goes. Next up is The Dead Zone from 1983. Again, I need another based on a novel one. And this is another one I already owned. I bought a bunch of Stephen King movies, so any of his based on books. I could have done a whole bunch of Stephen King ones, but I tried to, split things up. This one is also, I don't think I put it on here, but this one is also the one from the specific list that we were given to pick movies from. I saw this on here. I saw the based on novel, and I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. I'll just put The Dead Zone in here. I've never read the book. I've never watched the movie, so I have no idea what this one looks like. But be interested to see what that is. Stephen King's usually got some good books. The movies aren't always as good as the books, though. So we'll see what happens with that one. And then next up is 1984, my silent film. Now, I know this is probably stretching this one, but it's called Silent Madness. And this is going to be some kind of 80s slasher movie. I already own it. It was one I bought in a bundle of something other stuff. And I was like, well, it says silent in it, so I'm going to count it as that just so I don't have to watch some really old silent film. I've watched some. I'm not opposed to them, but I wanted to try to incorporate some stuff into here without, try to shoehorn some things in that may or may not fit. So this one's in here for that. Next up is Zombies vs. Ninja. I had some different zombie movies picked, but I swapped this one out before that. When I was scrolling through my list, I saw this. I'm like, hey, it says Zombie vs. Ninja in the name. So this is my zombie movie. It's also from Hong Kong. I own it because it came with there's like a martial arts horror pack or something that I bought. So this came with it. I'm down to see what it is. 1987 film. So a lot of different criteria on that. Looks like a fun time. I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. I figured it's something different. And then I put Ghost Watch from 1992 in here. This is one I bought recently. I've been meaning to get around to this for a long time. I bought it, like I said, I bought it not too long ago, and I just put this in to fill the list out. Body Melt from 1993. I actually started this movie last year. It looked really cool, and I wanted to get in last year's list. I started it, stopped watching it because I'm like, this is going to be a good horror movie marathon movie, or a good entry for the marathon, but I couldn't work it into last year's criteria. I had extra space this year, so this is just an entry out to fill the list. I already own it. This looks very cool, and I'm excited to finally get around to this one. And then I needed a Tobe Hooper movie, and I think I got this on like a buy 5 for 15 or something like that. I don't know. I got this on a deal. I haven't seen The Mangler in a long time. I don't remember it being all that particularly good, but it's a Tobe Hooper directed film, and it made its way onto the list because I'm already through almost, I think there's only like one, maybe two Tobe Hooper movies that I haven't watched. And we have to have one because the list is called Hooptober. It's written or designed after Tobe Hooper. So we have to have one every year. And there's only, I don't want to watch Texas Chainsaw every year and the circus one. I can't remember what that was called, but there's like 2 or 3 of his movies that I really like, and the rest are kind of mid to garbage. So I don't know. I figured to change it up, have something different in there. Next up is the Mexican or Central American director. And this is The Devil's Backbone. I've watched, what is this, Del Toro? I can't remember which director it is, but I've watched everything else that this guy's done. And this is the only one that I haven't. I think I'm going to have to rent this, but I don't know. This is like the only movie I haven't seen from him. Next up is Tooth and Nail from 2007. I needed a post-apocalyptic movie. I've been meaning to watch this. It's on Tubi. Hopefully it stays there. This looks interesting. It fits the post-apocalyptic theme fairly well from what the description says, so it should be fine. Next up is Black Swan from 2010, and this was one just to fill out the list. I bought this for like 2 or 3 years ago, and I've been meaning to get it onto one of these marathons. I just never managed to get it there. So it's now on the list. It's just something to fill out the list. Next up is my Canadian entry, which is The Tall Man from 2012. This is out on Tubi. Hopefully it stays there. Same thing with the next one. I needed a cult film, so I picked Lyle from 2014. This is also out on Tubi. And then this Dead Lucky film, I needed a Russian or former Russian state film, and I needed, extra country and all that. This is from 2017 on Tubi. I could have certainly used, there's another film coming up that I could have used in its place. Actually, the next one. But I wanted to, Dead Lucky looked cool, so I just put this one as the Russian film. And then the next one is Republic Z from 2018. This is my zombie and post-apocalyptic. I'm using 2 things there. And like I said, I could have used this one for Russian also, but Dead Lucky looked cool. Both of them are available on Tubi, so I just stuck with both of them. I thought I could compress this and add another film, but I wanted to watch both of them and, just where it's landed. Next up is The Lodge from 2019. This is a cult film. It's US, but it's also got UK on it, and it's also available on Tubi. Next up is another cult movie from Belgium, Ireland, US. I'm not sure which country, but I can count one of those as an alternate country. This is The Other Lamb from 2019. It's on Vudu. I think I'm going to have to rent that one. And then I've watched X a couple of years ago. I've now bought Pearl and Maxine. They're both on my list now. So they're just here to fill out the list. For my Animals Are Pissed at Us film, I decided to watch Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I picked up both 1 and 2. I know they're bad. I know they're horrible movies. I've not heard anything good about them, but they were like $5 or $7 for the pair. It was pretty cheap. So I was like, I kind of want to watch them just out of morbid curiosity. And when they said the animals are pissed at us, I was like, hey, that's a good excuse to put this one in here. So this is from 2023. It'll be comically bad, I guess. Next up is Exuma. I bought this one during last year's marathon, and I just put it on the list to fill it out. I couldn't fit it in last year. I really couldn't fit it in this year. I think it's a zombie movie. I think it might fit that role, but I wasn't sure. So when the list came up with some extra room, I just threw it in here. As mentioned, I've got Maxine on here. I didn't particularly like X. I don't know that I'm going to like Pearl or Maxine, but they were both $5 a piece. So I don't know. I figured I'd check them out and watch the rest of them for this year's marathon. Next up is Tarot from 2024. Now, I bought this with the express intention of putting it in this list, and it is actually based on a novel. When I was looking up different movies based on a novel, I saw this one. I was like, hey, I own that. So it just went right onto my list. So that was an easy one to do. Same thing was not with Nosferatu. I picked this up, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's also based on a novel, and I thought, cool, I can actually work that into my list, and that's a new movie, a newer movie, a couple of newer movies that are based on novels that I can actually just work right in there. I already own them. I don't have to worry about whether they're going to be on a streaming service or not because I just already own them. And now, similar story with Marshmallow. I actually bought this one. I heard the ending is really cool, so I'm very curious to see what this one is. It's another entry just to fill out the list, but I'm excited to see what this one is. I already own it. And then my black director with a black lead is Sinners. I don't know why I didn't think of this. I started looking at other movies, and I was looking at like Blackula and some of the other ones. But then I saw this one pop up, and I'm like, I've heard so much praise about this movie. I'm very curious to see what it is. I'm going in blind. I've not watched the trailer. I don't know anything about it. I've heard good things, but A lot of times when I hear good things, I don't necessarily like the movie as much as other people did. Like that X movie I keep talking about. That one was hyped up like crazy, and I didn't really end up liking it all that much. So I'm curious to see where Sinners lands. I decided to watch this one on October 31st, and that's going to be the one that closes it all out. So that'll be the lasting memory of this marathon. And then we've got the extra credit movies. Now, I am planning on starting my marathon probably the last weekend of September, and starting it just slightly early so I can get right into it. That way I'll get, I like watching my movies over the weekend. I like watching a lot of movies over the weekend. So I'll do 2 or 3 on Saturday and then 2 or 3 on Sunday. That knocks a whole chunk of it out. That way I don't have to feel obligated to watch a movie every day during the week. So I can catch up a little bit, get ahead a little bit, or pick up the pace if I've slacked off a little bit. That is my Halloween horror movie marathon list for 2025, and that's going to do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.